Welcome to Higher Level Gaming. I'm Katie, and today I'm talking to you guys about Quantic Dream, the studio behind the games Detroit Become Human, Beyond Two Souls, and Heavy Rain, and why they were recently sued for more than $7,000. Apparently, the former Quantic Dream IT manager was initially suing the company because they wanted their resignation to be recognized as an unfounded dismissal based off the hostile work environment. What hostile work environment, might you ask? Well, an image of them had been photoshopped and labeled as Super Nanny and was being shared around the studio. Den of Geek also reported that during their employment, the former IT manager discovered over 600 Photoshop images that they said were sexist and homophobic. There were images that photoshopped employees' faces on inappropriate, semi nude people's bodies and Nazis. And not only were these images circling around in emails, some of the images were publicly displayed. The photos discovered dated back to 2013, so it would seem that Quantic Dream has been a hostile work environment for a while now. With all that said, it seems clear that Quantic is a dumpster fire, so it's no surprise that their former IT manager sued them. These images were not actually a part of the initial case at first, but because they were being shared, they were made public. So, if you ask me, the company was wrong because they were aware of these images, but they failed to stop them from being shared in the workplace. They completely failed to protect their employees' image from being altered and shared without their permission. And because of this, the judge ruled in favor of the former employee due to security obligation. When I first read this story, I thought that this was a win. I thought that justice would be served because this definitely sounded like a hostile work environment to me. I thought it must have seemed that way to the judge too, because they described the images as homophobic, misogynist, racist, or very vulgar. But I guess not, because the judge did not grant the principal request of the ex employee, although they entitled them to compensation of around $5,500 and $2,000 in legal costs. Quantic Dream tweeted about the court ruling saying this: On November 21st, 2019, the Labor Court of Paris rendered its verdict in a case between Quantic Dream and an ex-employee. After said ex-employee was caricatured as Super Nanny by a colleague, they sought compensation and damages of 114,000 euros in addition to the reclassifying of the resignation as unfair dismissal. The judge rejected all of the ex-employee's principal requests, deeming very clearly that the Super Nanny image did not justify their claim and that there was no deterioration of their working conditions in the company. The judge further ruled that company management reacted appropriately by taking all necessary measures on the day of the incident in question. The ex-employee only obtained compensation of 5,000 euros plus 2,000 in costs in respect of a security obligation. Although these images were created outside of regular office hours and no complaints were made, the company should have anticipated the possibility of said images getting out of control since they were created on company premises. We take note of and will not appeal this judgment. These facts are laid out clearly in order to prevent any misinformation or misrepresentation of the verdict. So it sounds like Quantic Dream is honestly just gloating. They might as well have said, we did nothing wrong, because it's clear from this statement that that's what they believe. Although the former employee was granted compensation, their principal request was denied though. So that means on paper they quit and it's not being recognized as an unfounded dismissal. Therefore, they're not entitled to any real compensation or unemployment. Not to mention that now it's going to be that much harder for them to find another job, which is honestly just bullshit. How is it that as an employee, you're literally being ridiculed by your former employees and no action has been taken to stop it? They found 600 photos going back to 2013 of inappropriate photoshopped images of employees, and you're telling me that the company had never heard anything about it. Quantic did say that they will not appeal the judgment because why would they when they got a slap on the wrist? But the former Quantic employee will appeal this judgment because there was an image of them that was not included in this case. The image that was not included was a Photoshop of the ex employee's face onto a man who had a Hitler mustache, was wearing a garter belt, and was doing the Nazi salute. So it sounds like they Photoshopped his face on an actual Nazi, which is like, wow. I've been reading comments where people have been making it sound like this guy was just doing a Nazi salute in his spare time and his coworkers just happened to take a picture of it and shared it with everyone. Nah, bruh. They literally just photoshopped his face on a Nazi. If you ask me, that qualifies as something that would make you rightfully say, fuck this job. Quantic was also sued in 2017 by 5 of their former employees who accused them of sexism, homophobia, and sexual harassment. So, this is not a one person issue. And before you say, well, yeah, it sounds like it was mostly the employees doing this, they didn't really know for sure. Well, listen to this. This is a quote from a Kotaku article by Jason Schreier, who also covered the story. Le Monde reported that the studio's management had made inappropriate sexual and racist comments, bringing up one incident where Cage, the CEO, reportedly saw camera surveillance of a burglary and asked to deny an employee if the burglar was related to him. This is literally so sad. This comment is so racist because this employee is from an Arabic country. And in France, there's a lot of racism targeted towards immigrants and refugees who are Arabic. So it's just super racist to ask this employee if he's related to this other brown person he sees stealing. So the CEO was definitely a part of the problem. And when the story first broke, how did Quantic Dream respond? By suing 2 of the media outlets that covered the story, Le Monde and Mediapart, and claiming defamation. Cage said this about the allegations. Do we want to talk about homophobia? We work with Ellen Page, who's fighting for LGBT rights. Do we want to talk about racism? We're working with Jesse Williams, who's fighting for civil rights in the United States. Judge my work. Okay, but sorry, dude. We're not going to judge you based off of how many black and gay people you know. We're going to judge you based upon your actions towards people. And that employee says he made some pretty racist remarks. So most of these images were made by a veteran of the company. And Cage said, if we had been aware of these images, if we had seen them, we would have stepped in. But he creates them on his computer on his free time. I am not going to dig in the personal computers of my employees. If you ask me, that's definitely a cop-out because, sure, he may not have seen them in the office, even though they were displayed publicly, even though this employee or the employees involved in this have been doing this for years. But there were several people that reported this specific employee. So, how were they not aware of it at all when they were receiving multiple complaints about one veteran of the company? They are clearly very guilty in this case, and it's pretty unfortunate that they got off so easy. I just hope that they won't continue to get passes or they will improve their studio's culture because it sounds like it needs a lot of work. Here's hoping for no more bad news from this company. Well, that's all I had for you guys today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. That really helps out this channel a lot. Thanks for watching, but above all else, don't forget to play some video games and have a nice day.
This eye is not merely seeing reality, it is touching the truth.